John F. Kennedy's assassination on November 22, 1963, is one of the most studied, debated, and controversial events in modern history. More than 60 years later, millions of people still ask the same question: what really happened in Dallas that day? In this video, we're going to walk through the timeline, the investigation, the contradictions, and the theories, so you can decide for yourself. Let's start from the beginning. It was a bright Friday morning in Dallas. President Kennedy had traveled to Texas for a political visit. His approval rating had declined, and he needed to regain support ahead of the 1964 election. Crowds lined the streets, cheering as the presidential motorcade made its way through downtown. At 12:30 p.m., the limousine turned onto Elm Street, passing the Texas School Book Depository. Moments later, 3 shots echoed across Dealey Plaza. Chaos erupted instantly. People ducked, screamed, and ran for cover. Within seconds, it was clear the president had been gravely wounded. According to the official report, 3 shots were fired in roughly 8 seconds. 1 bullet missed. 1 struck both Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally. And the final shot, known as the fatal headshot, struck the president from behind, causing massive injuries. But for many witnesses, the direction of the shots was confusing. Some insisted they came from the grassy knoll ahead of the motorcade, not the building behind it. Their testimonies would fuel conspiracy theories for decades. The limousine sped to Parkland Memorial Hospital. Doctors fought to save Kennedy, but the damage was irreversible. At 1 p.m., John F. Kennedy was pronounced dead. Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson, who had been 3 cars behind the president, was immediately surrounded by Secret Service. He was sworn in as president aboard Air Force One at 2:39 p.m., standing beside Jacqueline Kennedy, still in her blood-stained clothes. While the nation tried to understand what happened, police tracked down a suspect, Lee Harvey Oswald. Oswald was a former Marine who had defected to the Soviet Union, returned to the United States, and held extreme political views. He worked in the Texas School Book Depository, the building where investigators believed the shots came from. At 1:50 p.m., he was arrested inside a movie theater. He denied everything, claiming he was a patsy, but the police said they found a rifle on the 6th floor of the depository with Oswald's fingerprints and bullet casings near a window. For the government, the case seemed straightforward. But it didn't stay that way. 2 days later, something happened that pushed suspicion even further. As Oswald was being transferred to a county jail, nightclub owner Jack Ruby walked up to him and shot him point blank. Millions of Americans watched it live on television. Oswald never stood trial. Ruby claimed he killed Oswald to spare Jacqueline Kennedy the pain of a trial, but many saw it as an attempt to silence the only man who knew the truth. President Johnson created the Warren Commission to investigate the assassination. After 10 months, the commission concluded Oswald acted alone. 3 shots were fired from the 6th floor. There was no credible evidence of a conspiracy, but the report was immediately criticized. Key witnesses were ignored. Documents were classified, and the commission relied heavily on FBI reports instead of independent investigation. And then came the biggest controversy of all, the single bullet theory. According to the Warren Commission, 1 bullet, fired by Oswald, passed through Kennedy's neck, went into Governor Connally, shattered his rib, exited his chest, broke his wrist, and finally lodged in his thigh. 7 wounds, 1 bullet. Critics called it impossible. Supporters said ballistic analysis proved it was feasible. But to this day, the idea of 1 bullet causing that much damage in such a strange trajectory remains one of the most debated aspects of the case. One piece of evidence changed everything: a home movie filmed by Abraham Zapruder. The footage captured the moment of the fatal headshot in shocking detail. For many viewers, the motion of Kennedy's head looked like he was struck from the front, not the back. Experts still argue over how to interpret the film. but it became the foundation for the most enduring theory, that Kennedy was shot from the grassy knoll. Over the decades, countless theories have emerged. Some are supported by evidence, others aren't, but all reflect the same idea. The official story doesn't fully satisfy millions of people. Here are the main suspects often mentioned. The Mafia, angered by Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime. The CIA, allegedly unhappy with Kennedy's foreign policy, especially regarding Cuba. Anti-Castro Cubans, furious after the failed Bay of Pigs invasion. The KGB, motivated by Cold War tensions. The military-industrial complex, supposedly threatened by Kennedy's attempts to de-escalate the Vietnam conflict. Multiple shooters, a coordinated effort to execute a political hit. None of these theories have been definitively proven, but each has motivated thousands of books, documentaries, and investigations. In recent decades, the US government declassified thousands of pages related to the assassination. Although many documents are still redacted, several key insights emerged. The CIA withheld information from the Warren Commission. Some intelligence agencies had been monitoring Oswald more closely than initially admitted. Internal memos show confusion, contradictions, and possible cover-ups. While these documents don't reveal a direct conspiracy, they raise serious questions about how much the government knew and what it chose not to disclose. Polls show that most Americans do not believe the official explanation. Witnesses reported shots from multiple directions. Oswald's motives have never been fully established. His murder by Jack Ruby looks suspicious. Evidence has been lost, damaged, or classified. Government agencies contradicted themselves for years. In the absence of clarity, speculation thrives. Despite decades of theories, here are the facts everyone agrees on. President Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas on November 22, 1963. 3 shots were fired. Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested as the main suspect. Oswald was killed before he could testify. Many government documents remain secret or redacted. The rest, still up for debate. The death of John F. Kennedy marks a turning point in American history, a moment when a nation lost not just a president, but also a sense of innocence and trust. Whether Oswald acted alone or whether a larger conspiracy was involved, one thing is undeniable. The full truth remains hidden, scattered across testimonies, missing evidence, and classified files. And until every piece of information is revealed, people will keep asking the same haunting question: what really happened in Dallas that day? If you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and let me know what historical topic you'd like me to cover next.